and welcome to season 2 of the Google Business Buzz. I'm here with my brother Ajay on a action-packed topic, the transformative world of Google Ads. How are you doing, Ajay?
Henry, I'm doing excellent. It's great to be here, and it's great to be with all of our viewers and listeners. I cannot believe that we've been doing this for a year already. It's been an absolute blast, and I'm ready for another one.
Awesome, me too. Me too. So let's get into it. There's been a lot of news, a lot of updates around Google. They've been in the news because of antitrust, all of this back and forth. But the most important thing for business owners, in my estimation, is that they've retracted what they were saying about Google cookies going away. This means, right, that when users visit a website, they are added a tracking code to their browser, right? So then when that user leaves the website, they're followed throughout their internet browsing experience with ads from that website. Now, Google was saying that this was going away because of privacy issues and all that stuff, but they've retracted. They've since taken a step back there. What are your thoughts on this, Jay? Why do you think they did that?
I think from a look, Google is very calculated, and they don't make moves without a good reason. I think from a publicity standpoint, obviously, backing away from this may be bad. From a real life user experience standpoint, we know that cookies are going to create for ads showing in more relevant situations and better ads. So better for the customer journey and the user experience. So the overall net effect, I think, is going to be a positive one, even if the public effect or the perception of it is going to be negative. At the end of the day, with Google kind of taking a step back away from cookies, now coming back closer to cookies, I think the end result is going to be better for the user.
I agree with you. I agree with you. In the long run, it is much better for a user to get relevant advertising. If you can't get away from ads, you might as well get relevant ads. And, a lot of people aren't going to prefer to pay a subscription to YouTube to get away from ads. You can't get
100%.
away from ads on Gmail, right? That's something that you just simply can't do. So why would you want to see irrelevant ads? So
Let's
I
face
think they
it,
did a good.
nobody likes ads that I've ever met. Not one person, except in the 1 in 100 when it's a video or the ad is super quirky and creative. No one's ever enjoyed an ad, or most people don't. And so, if you're going to get hit with an ad, it had better be a good one. Is the philosophy. So that being said, it makes total sense. Otherwise, you're going to be shown bad ads. Not only do you not want to get them, but you're going to be shown ads that aren't relevant to you. So everyone is wasting their money in the process. And so it makes total sense. And I think people will come to realize that sooner than
Yeah,
later.
I agree. And to that point, right, Google Ads itself is changing because of, topics we've already discussed. Local service ads cannibalizing that top spot, making Google Ads change, and they did it very elegantly with their entire platform, right? It's an omni-channel approach now that they're delivering with Performance Max, something that is brand new. Breaking news today. It's August 7th for everybody. This will be out in a couple of weeks. But Google is actually going to transition what they call smart campaigns into performance max campaigns. Now, smart campaigns are what was once called these easy, simple ads that you just click on and click off, very limited in their um, optimization and what you could do. Now Google has understood that there's no reason to have that type of ad type. They're going to transition to performance max campaigns because it does the same thing and more. It offers AI capabilities, right? Optimization. They're looking at audiences more. They're looking at phrases, keyword phrases instead of specific keywords. You could get granular with this information. But what Google is doing is they're just using their very influential AI, the AI that has access to all of the data on the internet for the past 25 years, and they're applying that to their Google Ads layer.
And this is representative of a very big shift. What our viewers and listeners should know at the core is that Google Ads used to be predominantly a search-based landscape, a search-based framework applied to it. And this is completely shifting on its axis. Like Henry said, Performance Max is an omni-channel approach. So not only are we taking advantage of Google's display network, which is huge, those are the banners on, an example of that is like the banners on ESPN or Yahoo, the banner ads. Not only are we taking advantage of YouTube, which is the largest, streaming and video platform in the world, it takes advantage of many Google properties, including Gmail ads, discovery ads, retargeting ads. And so it takes that budget and it's going to use it where it thinks it can get the most give for it. So notice that we're shifting from a purely search keyword-based landscape into an, okay, let's maximize our budget across all of Google's properties and mediums landscape. And that's where Google wants us to go. They want us to move to this new world. And so Performance Max has been a hot topic. We've had a lot of success through integrating a complementary strategy whereby we have clients, through the search lens using local services ads if they're in a vertical that's eligible to get those calls. And then when they want more give than LSAs are able to give, we also add them on Performance Max. And then that's a way to maximize the yield from the paid ad side. And so that's kind of the shift happening here that you should all know about, because it's very important. And we just see more evidence of that happening with Google, with Henry's latest news bit about smart campaigns going to Performance Max. So
Right.
Very big topic in the ads world right now.
And Google is doing this because they understand better than anyone where the consumer is and how the consumer is changing. Consumers are more savvy in 2024. Consumers are also in more places, and depending on the location where they are and the socioeconomic demographic that they are in, there might be in Instagram more, they might be in Facebook more, they might be on the Google app more, looking at the news updates that come through. And that's when you need to use the different platforms, right? We're talking a lot about Google Ads here, which is very important, and it has most of the world captured because everybody is on Google. It's the most important search engine. People still are relying on Google every single day, as well as businesses. But what's happening is that the user experience is changing. They're going from one place to another. They're researching. They're doing more due diligence so that they can understand and not regret paying money for a service or a product after the fact, right? People are reading reviews more and more. People are checking out websites more and more. People are checking out social media more and more. And it's not necessarily in any of those areas where they're going to convert. We don't know where they're going to convert. Touch points are increasing. This happens when the economy shifts, right? If it's a bad time in the economy, if people are struggling, search is going to go down, things are going to happen. But if things are going good, people are going to be spending money everywhere. So that's another thing that we need to take into consideration, how the consumer behavior is changing.
And if you really want to sum that up into a line, like everything we just said, it's really that we're moving from a more search and keyword based environment to a more audience based environment. And that is what Performance Max is doing. It's more performance and it's more audience based. And that's really where Facebook shines too. So Google is really taking a leaf out of Facebook's playbook here by leaning towards a more audience based approach to encapsulate everything that Henry just said. The market is changing, and Google wants to be on top of that. And like he said, in 2024, they're coming from everywhere, and so we got to be everywhere. And sometimes with limited budgets, that's very difficult. And so with Performance Max, using Google's AI and machine learning behind the scenes to optimize placement in the right mediums that you can afford, it's very smart to be there. And I think it's a good example of Google learning from what Meta does really well. Also, because Meta's biggest strength, as anyone knows, is audience and interest-based targeting. I mean, for as great as Google's tools are for most of our clients, nobody can do I'm gonna go ahead and say nobody can do audience and interest-based targeting like Meta can, and so it's good that Google is learning and incorporating that as well. I think that's also
Well,
representative of that.
I agree with you. And I mean, Meta has been doing this for so many years, right? They've with Facebook. I remember creating my Facebook account and telling them things that I thought, had no bearing on anything. What is my favorite book? What is my favorite movie? What is my favorite show? This, that, the other, all of my interests. Now they're using those interests, like you said, to really dial in that advertising. And Meta just has so much experience with this way of advertising that Google is definitely trying to catch up, just like you said. Another example that they're doing is similar to the Meta lookalike audiences, right? Where you can just give them a CSV, a list of emails, names, or phone numbers, and they can match that information, target people that look or are very similar in their Facebook profile to those already might be consumers of your business. Google has something like that. It's called a customer match list, and you can give them the same details, the same data points, and Google will do that retargeting aspect of it. So it's they borrow from each other, right? Like
Creatively
I
borrow.
they beautifully borrow from each other. But it's really smart if you're not limited by budget, or if you know how to use your budget wisely, to be in both places, in Google and in Meta, because in the example that we talked about earlier, right, we never know where our consumers are going to actually convert. Touch points are everywhere. Touch points meaning, hey, I saw this business on my Spotify web feed, right? Because I'm using the web player and I'm seeing the display ad. Now I visit the website, I don't do anything, I bounce off, but I go to their Instagram page, or I start seeing Instagram ads on my feed. That happens because I clicked on their website and the pixel has been added to my browsing experience. Now Facebook and Meta has me on their retargeting campaign. Now I'm getting retargeted from all ways. And they also use IP information to retarget people. Like the other day I was just talking to my wife about something, and I didn't search for it anywhere, but I started to see ads on my Instagram about it. It's it's because they're using IP information. We're two adults in the same house and the same IP. We're probably discussing that at the same time, right? So that's a very interesting new world we live in. Another important part is the website, right? So if we can have the greatest ads and the greatest campaign, but when we don't have a good landing page for users to actually visit that website, that click, then you're never going to start converting. What happens is, users are fickle, right? People don't want to be led to a website that isn't exactly what they were intending to click on, right? So when we are creating ads for a emergency towing service, right? Those are usually search ads that we use, and click to call ads, because they're emergency services. People are on their phone on the side of the road looking for help, looking for assistance right now, right? You're not going to go onto YouTube. You're not going to go onto Google Gmail to look for that kind of assistance. So you go to Google search, you click on that first thing you see, you talk to a live person. But if that person doesn't provide towing service, maybe they're an automotive repair shop, then you're doing things wrong. Or maybe if they only do, tire changes, but you have to have a spare tire and you don't have it, then that needs to be detailed into the ad, so you don't have to pay for that bad click, right? The user needs to know these things. The business owner needs to know how to optimize for that user, so that everybody's happy. And I think that's what Google's ultimate goal is. And even though they are criticized for, having all types of privacy violations, or things like that, I think their ultimate goal is high quality search results, high quality advertising results, for optimal user experience. Because I always say it, if Google loses the user experience war, then people are going to change to Bing. People are going to change to different search engine. And ChatGPT is
I
coming
was
with
thinking
their
that
own
too.
search engine, right? Everybody's coming at their heels, so they can't slip. They have slipped before, but they can't slip in this realm.
Well said, brother. And so I think where it all rounds up for everyone watching and listening is that Google is changing, as Henry said, it's changing to a more audience and interest based landscape. And because of that, very instructively, some tools that you can use to be prepared for this environment are looking into Performance Max, looking into smart campaigns, and getting your mindset shifted away from okay, this is a search only landscape and I need to just take care of my keywords, put in a budget, and I'm good to go. No, that's still a very large component of it, depending on your industry, but we're going to want to evolve with the times. And so evolving with the times means, checking into these new campaign types, trying them out, tinkering and getting better over time. And as always, if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. You may be a professional tradesman or tradesperson, or a professional, what other industry you are, but there are professionals willing and eager to help. One of those being OMG National. And so with that, guys, it's been an awesome season 1. Henry and I greatly look forward to a productive and fun season 2. Henry, anything else you got to add, bro?
I just wanted to thank everybody for listening, for tuning in. We've seen great reviews, great response to the information we tried to communicate to our listeners. It's meant to help educate small business owners, medium-sized business owners on these intricate, platforms that they don't make it easy, right? And I'm sure everybody, like Jay said, everybody is specialized in their area and their profession, and that's what we do. We try to bring the terminology down to a place where everybody can understand, trying to remove jargon from the conversation, because if you can't explain this to a 5-year-old,
You don't
then
know
you're
it very well.
doing things wrong. Then you don't know
Right.
what you're doing, right? So with that, thank you for everything to the public. Thank you, Ajay, for being here always and helping me bounce ideas and summing everything up so nicely. And a big shout out to our marketing department here at OMG National, Abby and MJ, and our superstar producer, Ronnie Cash. Thank you so much for making these amazing videos, these pods, the shorts. They look great. Another huge shout out to our C level, Karain, Josh, Mike Rappaport, and Jesse Lubar, our fearless leader. And everybody, with that, thank you for everything.
Take care, guys.